Now on Coast TV News.
Some patchy frost this Friday morning on Delmarva, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. I'm tracking a picture perfect fall Friday and a cool, dry weekend ahead.
Fighting the frost, how to care for your outdoor plants as the cold conditions settle in.
Sea Witch Weekend, it kicks off today. We get ready for all of the Halloween-related events along the coast.
Lewis in the World Series.
This is Mason Fluharty, by the way.
Game 1 is tonight for Cape Henlopen grad Mason Fluharty and his Toronto Blue Jays.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And it is Friday, October 24th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, I'm Melissa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we've arrived to Friday, and
yes,
as we just heard, it's a cold start to our Friday.
It is a cold start to our Friday. Chris has been talking about some areas could see patchy frost.
We're saying the
How are we at
frost
this
word.
point? Yes, and Chris, he likes snow, so he's probably a little excited that there's frost.
Yeah,
in the
it's a little too
forecast.
much excitement
No, Chris,
on this side
we're
of
not
the
ready
studio
yet.
here. But yeah, let's go to First Alert Meteorologist Chris Mastrobono and all that's frost and cold related. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Elisa. Yes, it is a cold start. Yes, we have that snow on our minds when we hear frost in our area, right? 37 in Salisbury. Winds are calm, skies are clear, and yes, we're seeing some cold temperatures out there this morning. 34 in Harrington. We're 35, Delmar, 35 in Gumboro, 35 in Long Neck, slightly milder at the coast. No frost at the beaches. We're at 44 in Bethany, and we're at 45 in Rehoboth. Winds are calm. And we're going to see calm winds throughout the morning. Clear skies. We have high pressure building in, and that's going to keep us nice and dry through today and through the weekend. So we waking up this morning, stepping outside the door, you're going to feel that cold air. 38 degrees with some patchy frost away from the coast. As we go throughout the day today, we're looking at just a picture perfect day with wall-to-wall sunshine and temperatures getting into the lower 60s this afternoon. A cool, dry weekend, and then yes, potentially a coastal storm middle part of next week. Now, as far as today is concerned, we're up to 56 by around 11 a.m. Plenty of sunshine with, once again, highs topping out right around that 60-degree mark. We will talk about the weekend ahead and that coastal storm threat next week coming up in the full 7-day forecast. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this hour is the frost that Chris was telling us about, though it likely is limited to areas away from the coast. There is still a focus all over Delmarva to care for plants. Now, here's some recommendations. If you cover your plants, use a breathable material such as a blanket or bed sheet. If you're storing your palm or citrus plant in your garage, there are some more things to do to take into account as well.
We usually use the rule of thumb, maybe 40, 45 degrees is where we feel like there can be some damage. It doesn't have to get down to 32 for it to totally be damaged. You might not kill it, but you might lose some of the foliage, you might lose some of the plant.
Cordry says it's important to store plants in temperatures of at least 50 degrees with plenty of light. Oftentimes, people will use grow lights for their stored trees as supplemental light.
And here's a look at some data across Delaware, almost right on the money in Seaford. The first average frost is October 24th in Fenwick Island. The average first frost happened on or around October 28th. Georgetown, the average first frost is October 31st, but in Lewis, it's not until November 7th. And this is now going to bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's your biggest worry with the frost?
Yeah, well, you can see a lot of people have one
Yes.
particular big worry. 71% of our voters are saying high bills. I get
have
that
to go
one.
with that one.
I get
Yes.
that one, yeah. Get also 23% voting for plant damage. Then we got the frozen pipes, driving risk. They're all valid concerns when it comes to frost worry. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttv.com or our mobile app. Now taking a live look at Rehoboth Beach, we're anticipating large crowds that will fill the area today as the annual Sea Witch Festival begins. And happening now ahead of the fun, new parking restrictions are in effect in Rehoboth Beach, according to the city's police.
The department says there is no parking along the entirety of Rehoboth Avenue now until 6 a.m. If your car is there during this time, it is getting towed.
Yeah, the city wants people to prevent people from parking in front of businesses ahead of the parade, and that prevents people from hogging spots on the avenue. No medium parking is that going into effect at 1 a.m. on Saturday, October 25th. That restriction is in place through the end of the parade.
And there's plenty of activities to look forward to happening in just a few hours. According to organizers, at 10 a.m., people can head down to the Scarecrow Trail and even vote on their favorite one. At 11 a.m., visitors can learn more about the nation's summer capital at the Rehoboth Beach Historical Tour. At noon, it's the Indoor Artisan and Vendor Show at the Chamber of Commerce. And you can hear live music at 6:30 at the 19th Street Band that takes stage at the bandstand.
This just in, you're now looking at plans for a new and improved Rehoboth Beach Library. As you can see, these are pictures of what a potential new meeting room, a study room, children's collection, and new circulation desk, as well as changes to the outside. The Rehoboth Beach Public Library is one step closer to getting that big facelift. The city's planning commission has advanced the preliminary site plan for the long-awaited renovation project to a public hearing set for today.
The proposal, years in the making, keeps most of the work within the current blue footprint, but does include a 630 square foot addition on the south side near Christian Street.
Plans also call for a refreshed facade and new landscaping to give the library a more modern look and feel. And people with the library tell us if the work is approved, it will take place on one side at a time while the other side stays open.
Also happening today, a proposed development along Coastal Highway in Rehoboth Beach is moving forward for more review. City planners are set to take another look at a major subdivision planned to be located along the Forgotten Mile in the city. According to city leaders, will look at plans for what's being called Oceanside Reserve. The area is over 7.5 acres, which developers seek to build 33 new lots. That review is taking place today at 1:30.
New this morning in Fenwick Island, town officials are debating solutions that will minimize the damage from flooding. In the span of 3 months, Fenwick Island has had 2 big flooding situations. Last week's nor'easter, in the video we're showing you here of damage done by the remnants of Hurricane Erin. This afternoon, the town council is reviewing the survey and legal costs of an infrastructure project on Farmington Street. It's a pilot demonstration which will create a living shoreline to help stop rising water.
We need to continue to have those discussions. We have been having the discussions. We've learned an awful lot, but there's a lot to learn, and there needs to be funding.
Last month, the town started placing sandbags at the end of Farmington Street and connecting them with neighboring properties to form a natural berm with the goal of preventing tidal waters from entering the street during high water.
Developing news in Millsboro, leaders are considering a change to the town code that could allow food trucks year-round. Right now, they're only permitted during festivals and events, but a discussion at the Charter and Code Review Committee could open the road for more Meals on Wheels. Most trucks in Milford are only used for private parties and catering, but some restaurants say the change would open new opportunities.
Trying to build some new stuff here, trying to put some incredible things in here, but I feel like that bringing food trucks here to Millsboro will help a lot with trying to connect the communities together, especially with different types of races, you know.
Leaders will gather this afternoon at 2:45 and will discuss this only, but food truck owners are hoping for a real green light in the future.
Also in Millsboro, lowering speed limits, it's getting a look at. It's on the agenda for the Downtown Millsboro Committee, and they plan to debate the pros and cons of lowering speeds to 25 miles per hour. The Downtown Millsboro Committee is meeting at 1 p.m.
A similar idea is taking place in South Bethany. The town council will meet today to discuss speed limits townwide. According to the agenda, the change is being recommended by the Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Committee. Leaders in South Bethany will gather in just a few hours at 9 a.m. to discuss this.
And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. as new tariffs are now in effect across the world. President Trump posted overnight that he's terminated all trade negotiations with Canada. New overnight, the president saying the Ontario government misrepresented remarks from Ronald Reagan and ads speaking negatively about tariffs.
All this as he says his administration has been successful in strikes against boats they say were carrying drugs. NBC's Alice Barr shows us what could be next for both issues.
President Trump overnight calling off all trade negotiations with Canada over this Government of Ontario ad featuring former President Reagan saying high tariffs lead to retaliation and fierce trade wars.
Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
The president citing a statement from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute accusing Ontario of using selective audio and video that misrepresents the 1987 address without asking permission to use and edit the remarks, noting the foundation is reviewing legal options. President Trump accusing Ontario of interfering with a looming Supreme Court case on the legality of his tariffs that he called very important to national security and the economy. That amid growing legal questions over the Trump administration's military strikes against alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean.
The cartels are waging war on America, and just as I promised in the campaign, we're waging war on them.
The president now suggesting operations may move on land, saying his administration will inform Congress about targeting drug runners on land, but stop short of promising to seek authorization for military force. Democrats in Congress calling for hearings on the strikes that have killed at least 37 people. The administration has not presented evidence there were drugs in all of the boats, though the president is adamant the strikes are legal and necessary to keep drugs out of the country. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We have new information from Delaware State Police after a truck crashed into Beshi Furniture on Lewis-Georgetown Highway Thursday around noon. You can see pictures right here on your screen. Police say a Ford F-150 was traveling west on Lewis-Georgetown Highway near Gravel Hill Road when the driver lost control and drove off the road. The agency tells us the driver, a 56-year-old man from Laurel, was treated by EMS for minor scratches. Troopers say he got a ticket for inattentive driving. Luckily, no other injuries were reported.
Tonight in Toronto, it's Game 1 of the World Series. Cape Henlopen High School product Mason Fluharty continues his rookie season as a relief pitcher for the Blue Jays. Fluharty has appeared in 7 games in the postseason, racking up 7 strikeouts. First pitch against the Dodgers will take place sometime after 8 p.m.
We're just getting started this morning on CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, hotel tax hike. It's a story we've covered in Ocean City. While we could now see all of Worcester County have something similar in place.
Also, possible dam distress. We'll tell you why people living in one Delaware community say neglect has led to an issue that could be dangerous for everyone.
Faster and farther. How this new shoe designed by Nike could be a first-of-its-kind innovation. And First Alert meteorologist Chris Master-Bono, he's working on the cold temperatures this morning. You see him there in the Weather Center, and we check in with Chris next.
Well, we made it to Friday, and it is a cold start to say the least as we take a live look into Salisbury. Temperature there 37. It is a dry start. We're seeing clear skies, and the best chance of seeing any patchy frost this morning would be west of Coastal Highway. 34 in Harrington. We're at 35 in Redden, 35 Gumboro, and 35 in Delmar. Calm winds, clear skies, the perfect recipe for that radiational cooling to take place. And we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the morning and afternoon as high pressure builds in. That pushes to the east and settles right over the region. Well, you may have noticed some of the leaves beginning to change here on Delmarva. We're beginning to see moderate to patchy leaf changes here on the peninsula. You look up to Jersey and up through the Poconos. They're past the peak there and at the peak through much of South Jersey. Now, Sunfest, we have that going on today in Ocean City, 61 for your Friday, and temperatures hovering right around 60 through the weekend. We'll see a bit more in the way of cloud cover as we go into Sunday. We'll talk about the potential of a coastal system impacting us next week. That's coming up in my full forecast here in a few minutes. Matt.
That is a good segue, Chris, because we are starting to see the effects of Tropical Storm Melissa. Check out this video we got from the Dominican Republic. The flooding that's already taking place there. We have warnings that 5 to 10 inches of rain could fall through Friday.
A local giveaway is helping families get ready for the cold weather, and kids could go home with a brand new coat this weekend. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2, families can stop by the Lewis Library for free winter coats for kids thanks to a partnership with Operation Warm. Organizers say the event is open to everyone, no registration is required, and coats will be handed out while supplies last.
Got a heads up for drivers in Millsboro. On your screen now is where DelDOT says closures will occur in order to reconstruct the roadway. Godwin School Road between Revel Road and Millsboro Highway is closing starting October 27th through November 2nd.
Target is planning to lay off around 1,000 corporate employees. Along with the layoffs, the company also announced it will not be filling 800 positions that are currently open. The company says the layoffs and changes will help Target be better positioned for the future. It comes as Target has been dealing with slumping sales and backlash after it dialed back its DEI program earlier this year.
Nike is unveiling Project Amplify. The company has teamed with a robotics company to create the world's first powered footwear system for running and walking. Get this, the experimental footwear features a lightweight, powerful motor and rechargeable battery that's part of the running shoe. This new product is for average people who like to jog, run, or walk.
How much that shoe's gonna go for? I've seen some cold temperatures out there this morning. A beautiful day ahead with temperatures right around 60 right through the weekend, and it will stay relatively dry. We'll talk about our next chance of rain coming up just after the break on Coast TV News today.
Time is 5:19, and you are looking live at a calm scene along the canal in Lewis. Sea Witches this weekend, Chris, will be there, and it looks like we have some nice fall weather that will be there too.
Oh yeah, Mother Nature cooperating. We're looking picture perfect today, and then heading into the weekend looking very nice as well. It's a cold one though, especially if you are west of Coastal Highway. We're 35, Long Neck 34 in both Bridgeville and Harrington. So yes, some of us waking up to some patchy frost this morning. Calm winds, we have clear skies, and there's those frost advisories across South Jersey. So we're kind of sandwiched between the advisories. We could see these advisories, I think, extend southward tonight for Saturday morning. Now we're clear and dry through most of the area. Some showers around the Great Lakes, but high pressure is going to be pushing eastward and settling right over the region through the weekend. See those clear skies in Milford, 39 degrees there. Sunrise at 7:20 this morning, and we're up to 48 by around 9. And highs today, upper 50s to lower 60s. Generally through the milder spots will be inland areas getting up towards about 62 to 63 degrees. But a beautiful afternoon and another cold night ahead as we fall right back into the mid-30s away from the coast for our Saturday morning. And Saturday afternoon, really nice. In fact, we'll see a few high clouds roll in, but other than that, we stay pretty dry. I think we'll see a bit more in the way of cloud cover as we go into the day on Sunday, but we keep it dry for now. Then we turn things over into next week. We're looking at winds today, gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour out of the northwest, but they settle through the weekend and into the early part of next week. So you're making your way out to Sea Witch this afternoon. Very nice, 61. Breezy this afternoon, but those winds settle over the weekend with a bit more in the way of cloud cover as we go into Sunday. Rain chances ramp up. It looks like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a rather unsettled stretch of weather will be developing. Still a lot of questions how this is going to evolve, but we will likely see potentially another coastal system develop as we go into Tuesday and the Wednesday. It all depends on the track, the intensity, but we could be dealing with a soaking rain, wind, and yes, potentially some coastal erosion as we go into the middle part of next week. Tropical Storm Melissa getting shredded by shear, but expected to intensify into a major hurricane through the weekend. But you notice as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, it begins to make that turn to the north-northeast, and eventually it's going to push over the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and then eventually out to sea. But you have to keep a close eye on that system as we go into next week. 61 degrees, mostly sunny, a cool, crisp day. We're down to 37 overnight with some patchy frost by Saturday morning, 61 by your Saturday afternoon. Mostly cloudy Sunday, and we'll see clouds into Monday, and then watching for that coastal system that will bring rain, wind, and some coastal impacts through the middle part of next week. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Got developing news across Delmarva. People living in Clayton's Wheatley's Pond neighborhood, they are sounding the alarm over what they say has been years of neglect. City officials met with neighbors this week to discuss the pond's condition. Overgrowth at the pond's become an eyesore, and people say it's now a safety hazard that could impact the dam. And while the HOA is responsible for maintenance, there is no functioning HOA board in place, and no elections have been held in years. Neighbors say it's only a matter of time before something goes wrong.
I'm really worried about if the dam does fail completely. From what we're being told, if something like that were to happen, it's going to be a catastrophic event.
Although the town has passed an ordinance requiring routine inspections and maintenance, officials say little can be done until a formal HOA board is in place.
We've rounded up all the spooky, silly, and festive fun across Delmarva this weekend. It's in your Cool Things to Do coming up next.
Worcester County is considering increasing the maximum hotel room tax from 5 to 6%. County leaders say the extra penny on the dollar would come from visitors, not people who live there, and could generate millions for tourism and public safety. Industry groups argue Ocean City would remain competitive with other East Coast beach destinations.
This tax increase to the Ocean City hospitality industry is not something that would hurt us because it is dedicated to tourism marketing and advertising. There is a formula. The formula has been in place since 2007, and that formula works.
The draft change requires a unanimous vote from all 7 commissioners, with public hearings set for next month. If approved, the higher rate would take effect before an upcoming season, targeting marketing and core services that support the tourism economy.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva, as we take a live look into Lewis. Lewis, actually one of the more milder spots this morning, 38 degrees, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine as we go through the morning. Fenwick Island, Ocean City, beautiful afternoon there. We have a big weekend there in Ocean City with Sunfest. We'll be right up to there, 60 degrees this afternoon. We have Sea Witch kicking off in Rehoboth, 58 degrees by around noon, and mostly sunny skies through Lewis. We'll see some winds anywhere between about 15 to 25 miles an hour through the afternoon. Cambridge near 60 degrees through the afternoon, as well as Crisfield with mostly sunny skies. We have Tony Schoolfield, Seaford, Delaware. You're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella, and you can get your latest forecast as always by dialing our First Alert weather phone. I'll have the latest on your weekend ahead coming up in the next half hour. Elisa and Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Well, Friday is finally here and Halloween is creeping closer.
Saw what you did there.
Yes.
From spooky celebrations to something a little less scary, Coast TV's Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
So I think we can all agree the weekend before Halloween, that's basically Halloween, right? Well, at least in Rehoboth Beach it is. The Sea Witch Festival runs all weekend long. The big parade kicks off at 11 a.m. Saturday, but there's a lot more than that. There's a kids zone, live music, scavenger hunts, and more, and Coast TV will be walking in the parade, so say hi to us. Wags, witches, and warlocks will take over Bethany Beach Saturday for a town-wide Halloween festival and parade. That starts at 10 a.m. There's a costume contest for people and for pets. Milton will have a Halloween carnival at Hudson Fields from 1 to 6 p.m. Saturday with food trucks, bounce houses, and music. Also in Milton, Dogfish Head is hosting Punk Day Saturday. So that means pumpkin ale, pumpkin liqueur, and just regular punk. So don't be scared to go heavy on the eyeliner. The Salisbury Zoo has its biggest event of the year this weekend, Halloween happening at the zoo. People of all ages are encouraged to dress up. Kids can trick or treat throughout the zoo. And this is probably the least Halloween-y event, but you can still dress up for the Delaware Renaissance Fair. It only comes around once a year for a few weekends, so it's worth the trip up to Town's End. You can find details about all of these events over on CoastTV.com. All you have to do is click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Some patchy frost this Friday morning on Delmarva, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. I'm tracking a picture-perfect fall Friday and a cool, dry weekend ahead.
Cold weather care with the drop in temperatures, how to keep your favorite plants protected.
Plans for Pages, the public hearing in Rehoboth Beach on its library renovations. We look at what is in the proposal.
Ready for the witch. From parking to a variety of activities, what to expect this weekend at the annual Halloween event.
This is Coast TV News Today.
October 24th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
5:33 a.m. The Fall Classic, the World Series baseball starts today, and we have extra reason to pay attention. One of our own pitching for the Blue Jays.
Yes, Mason Fluharty, Cape Henlopen graduate, playing in the World Series, pitching in the World Series. That is just fantastic. I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. Wish I was rooting for
It's funny, I think a lot of
different
Americans
team.
are also rooting for the Blue Jays.
I think so.
I just get that vibe on social media. The Dodgers aren't too popular.
No, I am not rooting for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I am not. But Chris
is not. We know Chris is not.
Sorry, Chris, your team is also not playing in the World Series.
Yes,
difficult.
I'm still not over that, believe it or not, Elisa. The Phillies lost. Yep, definitely not rooting for the Dodgers, I can tell you that right now. As we take a live look into Milford, clear skies, 39 degrees there. We're seeing calm winds, and we are waking up to some cold temperatures. 34 in Harrington, 35 in Redden. 35 Delmar, 36 in Long Neck. So patchy frost this morning, especially if you are west of Coastal Highway. There you see those calm winds, clear skies, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the morning and into the afternoon today. High pressure is going to be building in. You see this front off to our north. So we're looking at wall-to-wall sunshine throughout the day today. Just a few cumulus clouds building through the afternoon. We'll top out right around the low 60s this afternoon. And as we head into the weekend, it is going to be just a classic fall weekend. Saturday, we're looking at some patchy frost to start. A beautiful day, temperatures between about 57 to 64. Then as we go into Sunday, I think we'll see a bit more in the way of cloud cover, but it's going to stay dry and pleasant at least through Sunday. Then things turn a bit as we go into the early to mid part of next week. We could be seeing yet another coastal storm. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast. Matt.
Okay, Chris, thank you for that. And our top story this half hour is the frost that Chris has been telling us about. Though it likely, as you saw, is limited to areas away from the coast, there is still a focus all over Delmarva to care for plants. And here are some recommendations. If you cover your plants, use a breathable material such as a blanket or bed sheet. It's important to store plants at temperatures of at least 50 degrees and that they have plenty of light.
We are now taking a live look at Rehoboth Beach this morning. Crowds of people will fill this area today as the annual Sea Witch Festival begins. And happening now ahead of the fun, there's new parking restrictions in effect in Rehoboth Beach, according to the city's police department.
Yeah, the department says we only have a little bit more time with this one, but there's no parking along the entirety of Rehoboth Avenue until 6 a.m. If your car is there during this time, it is getting towed.
The city wants to prevent people from parking in front of businesses ahead of the parade and prevent people from hogging spots on the avenue. No median parking is allowed beginning at 1 a.m. on Saturday. That restriction is in place through the end of the parade. Although parking is restricted, DART is an option. This year's Sea Witch Festival takes place today until Sunday. In the 150th year of Ocean City, the town is celebrating 50 years of Sunfest this weekend, where you can enjoy music, food, and unique vendors. You can see what that festival looks like this year on your screen. There's also live music to enjoy, hay rides on the sand, and delicious foods and mixed drinks throughout the festival. The event is free to enter and continues through Sunday.
You're now looking at the plans for a new and improved Rehoboth Beach Public Library. As you can see, these pictures are of a potential new meeting room. There's a study room, children's collection, new circulation books, as well as changes to the outside. The Rehoboth Beach Public Library is one step closer to getting that big facelift. The city's planning commission has advanced the preliminary site plan for the long-awaited renovation project to a public hearing that is set for today.
The proposal, years in the making, keeps most of the work within the current footprint, but does include a 630 square foot addition on the south side near Christian Street.
Plans also call for a refreshed facade and new landscaping to give the library a more modern look and feel. And people with the library, they tell us if this work is approved, it will take place on one side at a time, while the other side stays open.
This just in Fenwick Island, town officials are debating solutions that will minimize the damage from flooding. In a span of 3 months, Fenwick Island has 2 big flooding situations, last week's nor'easter and the video we are showing you here of the damage done by remnants of Hurricane Erin. This afternoon, the town council is reviewing the survey and legal costs of an infrastructure project on Farmington Street. It's a pilot demonstration which will create a living shoreline to help stop rising water.
Millsboro is considering a change to its town code that could allow food trucks year-round, and right now they're only permitted during festivals and events. Most trucks in the Millsboro area are only used for private parties and catering. The Charter and Code Review Committee is scheduled to look at this at their Friday afternoon meeting.
New overnight today, New York Attorney General Letitia James is due before a federal judge, not as a prosecutor, but as a defendant. Trump's former personal attorney is bringing a fraud case against her.
Amy Kiley shows us how the defense is using this very first hearing to try to get the case thrown out.
Tish James is being attacked because she had the audacity to hold Donald Trump to the same laws that each and every New Yorker should be held to.
New York Attorney General Letitia James has an arraignment hearing before a federal judge in Virginia today. She's charged with 2 felonies related to mortgage paperwork. They're bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution.
Letitia James is a dirty cop.
In a court filing, James says she's asking for a dismissal due to, quote, the unlawful appointment of U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan. That's President Donald Trump's former personal lawyer and the only person to sign the indictment against James. It has no signatures from any career Justice Department prosecutors. In her filing, James recommends combining her motion with that of former FBI Director James Comey. He's making a similar argument about Halligan.
Even if these 2 cases went away, other defendants are going to say Lindsay Halligan is not properly appointed. So this will at some point make its way through the court.
Critics say the Comey and James cases are about revenge, not justice. Trump openly disparages them both for investigating him. In the case James brought against him, he's appealing after 2 judicial rulings finding he was liable for fraud.
You go after these people and they say how horrible you are, and yet I got indicted 5 times and impeached twice.
I'm Mimi Kiley reporting.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. as new tariffs are now in effect across the world. President Trump posted overnight that he's terminated all trade negotiations with Canada. President Trump says this is over this Government of Ontario ad featuring former President Reagan saying high tariffs lead to retaliation and fierce trade wars. The president citing a statement from Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation Institute accusing Ontario of using selective audio and video that misrepresents the 1987 address without asking permission to use and edit the remarks. Here is the ad in question.
Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
President Trump is accusing Ontario of interfering with a looming Supreme Court case on the legality of his tariffs that he calls very important to national security and the economy.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, bay scallops back at the beach will tell you how a group of scientists returned the species from extinction on the eastern shore.
Also, late drive drama. It was Thursday night football in the Bayside Conference, and we have the gut check in the 4th quarter between Y-High and Easton.
And Safety Tool Services will tell you how police say a new online tool in Rehoboth Beach can help you. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
Well, hope your Friday morning is off to a fantastic start. Staying warm is the theme this morning. We are seeing some cold temperatures out there, 37 in Salisbury, but look at Harrington. We're at 34, 38 Millsboro, 35 Delmar, and we are at 36 in Long Neck. Slightly milder at the coast. We're at 45 in Rehoboth Beach. We're seeing clear skies and calm winds. Perfect recipe for radiational cooling to take place throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. Well, we're not in a drought, but we are seeing some abnormally dry conditions, primarily across the western portion of the peninsula, the midshore, western portions of Sussex County. Now, over the next 6 to 10 days, well, the Climate Prediction Center is thinking slightly above normal, wetter than normal conditions. We are tracking the threat of a potential coastal storm into next week. I'll talk more about that in my full forecast. Matt.
Okay, Chris. In coastal news, the Rehoboth Beach Police Department has introduced a new online tool designed to strengthen communication with people who live in and visit the city. The department's new Frontline Community Policing Connect portal is now live, and we're showing it right here on your screen. The site offers several services that promote public safety, like vacation watch and managing your bike in case it gets stolen.
After 50 years, the medieval castle at the Old Pro Golf's 28th Street location has been torn down. The course was built in 1973 and became a well-known attraction along Coastal Highway. The course says the medieval theme will stick around. Not sure what will go there, though. Old Pro Golf's indoor courses at 68th Street and 136th Street remain open year-round.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. We had a big game on DSN Thursday night. Easton going into Salisbury looking for a big dub. Y-High trying to bounce back from a loss as well. Let's get right into it. First drive, Landon Roach. He's going to drop back, air it out, and that's picked off. Kyrie Akri gets the opening drive takeaway. He's going to bring it down all the way inside the red zone to set the Warriors up. Then a few plays later, Easton on 4th down, Brady Walls to Tucker Barnhart. You can't leave him that wide open. Just like that, Easton goes up 7-zip early in this ball game. Second quarter now, Walls to a Cree. That's a tutty. Easton goes up 2 scores. It's 14-0. So we go to the third quarter. Second half, Easton was up 21-0. Whitehead needs a spark, and they get it. Tayshawn Swan with the pick. They're not going to catch him. He takes it 75 yards back to the crib for a pick 6, and the Tribe has new life. But then we go to the fourth quarter. It's Walls loading up, looking down the sideline. A Cree got it. It's a touchdown for Easton. They go back up 21. Why? They're going to need a little late magic, and they dial up some late trickeration. It's Roach to Jonathan Grady to Jam Stevens. He's all alone. He'll take it in for the score, but Why can't get over the hump. They drop this one 28-21 on our Thursday night game of the night. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 5, we have Down and Distance. 5:30, tune in for the high school football pregame show, Scoops and Scores. At 6, we have live Bayside Conference football when Decatur hosts Kent Island. 9:30, 1 CW Pro Wrestling. At least at 10:30, we have another sad edition of Nittany Game Week. What is she? It is. At 11, final score. Now, along with that Decatur game, here's what you get on DSN Plus. At 6, NCAA Women's Volleyball and Maryland Eastern Shore host South Carolina State. Also at 6, more Bayside football when Cambridge South Dorchester takes on Washington. And at 7, Sussex Central hosts Cesar Rodney.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com/signup and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, some of us waking up to some frosty conditions this morning. It's going to be a beautiful Friday on Delmarva. A nice, good fall-like day with temperatures right around the low 60s this afternoon. It gets chillier and a bit cloudier into the weekend, but we'll talk rain chances in that extended forecast right after the break.
The time is now 5:50 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. Chris, it is a very cool morning. You've been showing 38 degrees or lower in some places this morning. So yeah, the fall weather, it's in effect. You need a jacket this morning wherever you are going, even if it's just a quick walk to your car.
Oh yes you do, especially if you're in some of our colder towns, more of those notorious areas that drop very quickly with clear skies and calm winds. We're 35 in Redden, 34 in Harrington, 35 in Delmar. So if you're west of Coastal Highway, you have a chance of seeing some patchy frost this morning. We are in the lower to mid 40s along the beaches. Clear skies, calm winds, perfect recipe for those temperatures to drop. We have frost advisories to our north and to our southwest. We could see those extend southward for tonight into Saturday morning. We're going to stay clear and dry. We have a few showers well out towards the Great Lakes, high pressure pushing to the east, and that's going to settle over us right through the weekend. Live look into Salisbury, 37 degrees there. Sunrise 7:20 this morning. We'll be up to 48 by around 9 a.m. On our way to highs right around the lower 60s this afternoon. 61 into Lewis. See a high of 61 in Cambridge, 63 Vienna, and 63 in Salisbury. So we remain clear and dry through the overnight. It's going to be another cold night as we wake up early Saturday morning with temperatures beginning in the mid to upper 30s with some patchy frost, and a bit cooler into Saturday afternoon with a few high clouds rolling in, upper 50s to right around 60, and then same for Sunday, but I think we'll see a bit more in the way of cloud cover roll in, especially by the afternoon with highs right around the 60-degree mark. Winds today out of the northwest gusting upwards of 20-25 miles an hour. We'll see more calmer winds as we go into the weekend, so wind won't be a big issue. If you're heading on out to Sea Witch, kicking off today, beautiful start, 61 degrees, partly cloudy skies into our Saturday, 58 Sunday under mostly cloudy skies. Rain chances ramp up early to middle part of next week. We turn unsettled, all thanks to another potential coastal storm developing to our south over the Carolinas, and this may bring a soaking wind-driven rain into the area late Tuesday into Wednesday, and yes, the threat of some potential beach erosion depending upon how this system evolves into early next week. The good news is it looks like it's out of here in time for the trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Tropical Storm Melissa continuing to churn in the Caribbean Sea and will get its act together over the weekend. This system is going to be battering Jamaica and then make a curve to the north into Cuba, and then eventually the Turks and Caicos as we go into early next week. You see Category 4 hurricane, and that's only Wednesday, and then it should go out to the eastern Atlantic. We're looking at that rain moving in Tuesday night into Wednesday, and we're going to keep that rain in play through at least Thursday of next week. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. A big comeback for a shellfish in the waters of Virginia's eastern shore. Bay scallops were locally extinct for 90 years after an eelgrass disease and massive hurricane decimated their habitat in the early 20th century. But a team at the Virginia Institute of Marine Sciences Eastern Shore Laboratory has been guiding a growing population back to the bay for years, caring for the scallops in their earliest stages of life. Hard work, they say, is starting to pay off.
Past couple years, we've seen a really encouraging trajectory of our population. This year in particular, we saw that our population has now reached what Florida considers to be a stable population, and that's defined by having more than 0.01 scallops per meter squared. So we've just barely exceeded that level and hope that that trajectory will only continue.
But a goal that could be closer, recreational fishing. And the time is now 5:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Yep, we're going to do
There
that.
we
Where we
go.
go, we got this one from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. That is Hazelnut.
Aw.
Hazelnut is such a good girl. She is so loving and adorable, and she is ready to share her love with a forever family. So if you want to adopt Hazelnut or any other lovable pet, head on over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them special. You can take a look at your screen.
Scan the QR code at the top there to get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Well, we are seeing some cold conditions out there this morning. Some areas away from the coast beginning in the mid-30s, so patchy frost possible, especially away from the coast. And we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. A beautiful kicking off here and Sea Witch Festival there, Rehoboth Beach, 61 degrees, and then we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s over the weekend, and your 10-day forecast shows a bit more in the way of cloud cover Sunday, 60. We stay dry Monday, and then we watch the threat of, yes, unfortunately, another coastal low potentially impacting us Tuesday through Thursday. And yeah, depending upon how that system evolves, we could be dealing with, yes, another round of some rain, wind, and potential beach erosion. But the good news is we are looking to stay dry into Halloween.
That is good news for trick-or-treaters. You never want to go trick-or-treating when it's raining outside.
Yeah, no,
and if it's too cold, and then your mom makes you wear a shirt under your costume.
Also,
you're
all
like,
the
it ruins
prep
my
work that
costume,
goes into the
Mom.
costume.
I know,
Yes.
right?
All right, well, coming up in our next hour, you just heard about Sea Witch. It starts, and we are just hours away when all that fun begins. The breakdown of this weekend's festival and more when Coast TV News Today continues.